Okay, I think we're going to start. Good morning for some of you. So from Americas, good afternoon. For the other ones, good evening for some of you. Welcome into this webinar concerning the BBEST tool and the utilization of this tool for assessing your organization, to participate to EIPM Peter Kraljic Awards, and to be certified by EIPM as an organization. My name is Bernard Gracia. I'm president of EIPM, and I'm here with you with Christian Kemerler.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Christian is leading this practice about the tool and the organization, the assessment, and the Peter Kraljic Awards. So thanks very much for all of you to be with us. So I don't know if you have some ideas about EIPM. So just three slides max. EIPM is a school. We are 30 years old, so this is our anniversary these days, and this webinar is part of this anniversary. We train around 5,000 people per year in 9 different languages. We have 2 campuses, and we work with 7 branches around the world. 3 main pillars for EIPM: one which is education, with MBA, with diploma, with certification. One which is more about research, leading to competence assessment, leading to evolution of the procurement practices, and so on and so forth. And in-company program, we train around 5,000 people per year in the in-company, while we educate a bit less people. We have 2 tools, basically. We have one tool which is for competence assessment, and one tool which is more for assessing the organization. And we're going to speak about this tool today. EIPM is delivering certification, so certification for newcomer, certification for non-executive, with a certification for buyers, a certification for category manager, and a certification for manager, and then for executive with a diploma and an MBA. So very limited portfolio of very precise education. What our footprint is, a global footprint around the world, with our different partners. We have been working on and developing different academies, and you get here some names of the academy, procurement academies we have been developing, and we're working with much more companies in different sectors, and you may recognize some of the name. So very quickly, this is what I was willing to say concerning EIPM. We're going to present you the complete process of the assessment, the certification, and the Peter Kraljic Award. So the idea is for you to understand how one tool, which is BBEST, can be used for different purpose. And I'm going to work on that with Christian. If you have any question, do not hesitate to use the chat. We'll be answering you. We'll be also more than pleased to send you some links to test this tool. So the complete process is, we're going to speak about the tool in 1 minute, but we start with the tool. The tool is a self-assessment. It's called BBEST, and all the tool at EIPM start with B because it's our logo. So we start with the BBEST is a self-assessment and a description of practices. So this is the tool. Based on the tool, you're going to have a maturity score, basically, which is going to be in function of what you're going to say you have or you do. We're going to give you a scoring. And then we're going to give you a benchmark report. Benchmark report being based on your results compared to other people or all the companies who went through. So this is the self-assessment, is based on your own ideas and your own evaluation. And we're going to compare your own evaluation compared to the benchmark, to the best. So the idea is you can over-evaluate it, you can under-evaluate, you we're going to have this gap in between what you say you are compared to this benchmark. But this is not enough for us. So we're going to, based on this assessment, self-assessment, we're going to have an audit visit. So you understand that before we were going on a face-to-face visit, it was 1 day, 2 day visit. And the visit was not only visiting you, visiting the procurement purchasing department, but also meeting some stakeholders to understand exactly if what you said in your assessment were aligned with what we're seeing. So first, a self-assessment. Second, a maturity benchmark, an audit visit, and based on that, we were capable to say, hey, is at the right level or not? And this audit, assessment plus audit, give us a result. And from there, you can go whether for certification or whether for award or certification and award. So the idea, what we want to present you is this complete process, giving you the opportunity to understand how to use the tool BBEST, how to do this self-assessment, how to go through this maturity score, how to have this benchmarking report, then to understand what we'll be doing during report, during our audit, and based on that, deciding, should I go for certification of my organization? Should I go for the award, or should I go for both? So this is the overall presentation. This is what we want to present you. And if I go a bit more in detail, you tell me, Christian, if you want to interact, if you want to go further on. But the idea of self-evaluation is really you go on the tool and you're going to answer some qualitative questions. And the idea of is really to be the closest possible from your reality. And you are the only one to be capable to answer nicely to who you are. And the idea there is to answer these 99 questions with criteria, 9 criteria, 32 sub-criteria, and then getting some deliverables. So the self-evaluation, then we go for the audit, and we already say some words about, which is about visiting you or visiting a virtual visit, but is understanding based on what we know about your sector, about your industry, based on what we already saw, arriving with some very precise questions to identify if what you wrote is aligned with your reality. And based on that, we're going to give you a report, basically. Based on this process, so assessment plus audit, being capable to say, hey, are you interested for getting for a certification, getting for a Peter Kraljic Award? The certification is getting a paper certifying that you are a certain level of maturity. And this certification is granted for 3 years. So on one end is a certification. The certification says that EIPM has been validating that your organization is at this level of maturity. On the other end, there is the EIPM Peter Kraljic Award. The EIPM Peter Kraljic Award is something different. It's a competition. You're going to have every year 30, 20 companies being interested to participate to this award, and to say, hey, we are be interested to participate to be the company of a year, and to see how we can be awarded for being the company of a year, or being getting an award on the people, on the process, or any element. So I summarize. You have a tool which is an online tool. This online tool is helping us helping you to get through this self-assessment. This self-assessment is going to be completed by a visit, and a self-assessment plus visit is going to give a report. And based on this report, you may say, I'm interested to go for certification, or I'm interested to go for the Peter Kraljic Award. Okay, so this is a complete process. Now, if we go a bit in detail, I'm going to give the floor to Christian to speak about more detail about the process and explaining that the business model is the one from EFQM. Christian.
Okay, so good afternoon, good morning. I'm Christian Camerlen, as Bernard introduced me. So the whole tool is structured around a non-prescriptive framework, which was taken from EFQM, the European Foundation for Quality Management in Brussels, and who is internationally recognized and giving every year also awards to companies and organizations. You have in front of you the model, which is structured around the 9 criteria that Bernard mentioned. The enablers part, which is a little bit lighter in color, represents what the organization is doing and how it does it. The result part is what the organization is achieving in terms of and how it is measured. What is important to understand is this is also based on a sort of PDCA, plan, do, check, action, which is a virtuous circle, because if you don't reach the level of results that you are expected to deliver to your organization and your stakeholders, then you use learning, creativity, innovation, and other methods to change the way you do things and modify your enablers to hopefully improve the results. Next slide. This is a tool which has been initiated 11 years ago, and we constantly upgrade the questions, the vocabulary, the content, to follow the trends in the industry and the trend in the best practices, and to encourage you and give you references to the most powerful and efficient practices. The purpose of the tool is really to help you identify which are your strengths and what are opportunities for improvements. How do you, and the questions are not really do you do this or that, but it's opening your reflection towards what you could do and what could be improved in terms of process itself, but also of deployment in the organization and about the achievements. So it's very important that the tool is used by a team of people, so you have multiple input from different parts of the organization to be sure the deployment, for example, and the other elements are well judged. So this has been used by over 400 companies, and we have given 54 EIPM Peter Kraljic Awards in the last 10 years. Next slide. The use of the tool is multiple, and you have in each case good benefits. You can just do an assessment to understand where you stand in terms of your practices and compared with other bodies and other users. You can compete for the awards. We'll go more in detail on that. And the purpose could be just to improve your organization and define what is your improvement roadmap, so you can manage your pipeline and prioritize the improvement actions. But it can also serve you if you have multiple sites to compare and rationalize the development and the identification of the best practices. The purpose of all that is to benchmark, be an eye-opener on gaps versus best practices, and overall the value they build to your customers and society and other parts. Right? So we can move to the next slide. So it's a quick overview about the presentation of the BBEST tool. it's based on, and you can see here what is the look of the BBEST questionnaire. You recognize, of course, the enablers and the results criteria. It's color coding, you have a progress bar. And in addition, to be sure that the scoring is consistent from user to user and is reflecting what you are actually doing. You have a user guide, you have a glossary. For example, if your company is not using the standard meaning of the words, we clarify what is the meaning of leadership, what is the meaning of a manager, what is the meaning of a supplier or a partner, and so forth. It also contains a confidentiality agreement and terms of use, which is how EIPM is using the information that you share. And EIPM, just in a nutshell, is really bound by very strict confidentiality clauses, and we're not going to share the information, and nobody will recognize in what we say which company is doing this or that. Okay. This is just a view of one of the questions for the enabler criteria. By chance, it's leadership. And you see the way the sentences are phrased out. It's not telling you, it's not prescriptive, but it's describing an end result, which is a sort of stretch goal situation. In the background slide, merci. In the blue cell, this is the field in which you enter your description of good practices if you want to reach the certification or if you want to compete for the awards. There are also another field on the left of the blue one, which is giving you the opportunity to memorize and record information on the reasons why you have selected a score. On the same page, you can see a score. What's the meaning of a score? You see the scales from 0 to 10, and the score information is telling you what you need to do in order to deserve a score of 6, 7, 8, or 9. If you want to score yourself a 10, this means that your practice in concern has been recognized by outside world as a benchmark practice. So it's very difficult to rank a reply at the 10 level. Thank you. The next page is showing the way the questions are asked for the result criteria. For most of the result criteria, the score on the scale is from 0 to 5, with also explanations on what 4 or 5 or 2 means. And we also suggest a list of methods or measures, like here, that you can click and will be weighting in a way the score that you assign yourself. The score will be impacted by how efficient is the practices that you use. And you can click from 0 to 4 practices or methods or measures, but the number is not going to impact the score. Only the efficiency and the validity of the method or the measure and or the meaningness of the measure will impact the score. Thank you. Now, once you have filled the whole tool, you receive a maturity score, which is highlighted here. So the score itself for this organization is 58.40 out of 100. And it shows the way the score is, the maturity score, the maturity index is calculated using your input on criteria. As the section is very focused on performance and customers, there is a specific weighting which has been designed in the tool by EFQM and that we have adopted as well. So, for example, the customer measures are more important than the society results. In addition, once you have completed the whole assessment, you have access to a benchmarking report. And we have a couple of views on this report. By each criteria, you see the scores obtained by your organization or your company in green bars. The average of the 400 users score is in blue, and the best-in-class organizations bars are represented in gold color. This best-in-class group is represented by the 54 companies that have received the EIPM Peter Kraljic Awards. And this number is increased every year. So there is by criteria a chart and a table like this, so you can see by visually and through numbers exactly what you have entered and what the other have done. And there is a summary at the end of the report, which shows, this is on the next slide, which shows the profile of the companies. So same, the green line is your organization, the dark blue line is the average of all users, and the gold line is the best-in-class organization. And you see also the detailed matrix of results. Bernard started to explain the validation visit for the award of certification. I will expand a little bit on how this takes place. So it's a one-day visit which is organized with your company and organization, and which will be used to explore your organization, the practices, and the specific aspects of your processes by criteria and themes. And the outcome will be to validate the self-assessment score. As Bernard explained, some companies are optimistic, some are pessimistic in terms of what they do because they are lacking visibility. And again, the benchmarking that you get in this tool will help you really positioning your organization practices compared with a lot of other companies and peers. In the organization, the participants are employees and leaders, but also we suggest that representative of your stakeholder groups and partners, which are suppliers, society, NGOs, and other bodies like that, also testimony about the way your organization is handling the relationship with them. And you have the contribution and the facilitation by 2 EIPM certified professional assessors, who are people who have a long experience and diversity of experiences in the procurement and supply chain. The deliverables of this visit is a report, a detailed report highlighting your strengths of your organization and also helping you in your improvement path by making suggestions about future development by theme. So we said, yeah, you are great in this activity, but you could get more mileage out of it by introducing this sort of additional features, or by improving the communication, or by involving other groups. And the outcome of this is also towards the award jury. The team of assessors is suggesting of what award category the organization deserves, and if it is, for example, the award of the year for the organization of the year. And in the case of a certification, which has been selected as the outcome. It's a suggestion for the certification board about the certification level. Okay. Now we will see what are the specifics in the process for the certification. Bernard, do you want to take over?
Yeah, just we understood that about the process, and Christian, can you mute? So this is the same process that has been described with the idea of audit and so on and so forth. The idea is to say we have been identifying in the maturity process 5 different levels. The first level is a transactional level, and you know all of you what is a transactional level when the organization is bringing saving, working on process, working on transaction. The second level is more a function of support, working more in TCO, working on the business, being reactive but a minimum somehow. The third level is more a function which is partnering, starting working at the cross-functional level, cross-functional teams, cross-functional expertise. The fourth level is being on the networking level, proactive approach to suppliers, partnering, innovation and integration of this innovation, and the last level, which is the fifth one, core function, meaning it's part of the business. And the role of procurement is there to support the business, to contribute to business, to lead somehow the business. So these are the 5 steps of a maturity, EIPM maturity level. And what we have been linking is each step with one level of certification. So transactional is what we call a basic level. The support function is what we call a bronze. The partnering is silver. Gold is for networking, and platinum is the top, is for core function. So basically, this is the 5 level of certification. If we want to go a bit further on, we may say that you can, let's say, you can run for certification for your global organization, but you can also run for certification for a regional organization or for all of your different organizations, regional organization, or even for a local one or for a business one. So you have different business. You can go for certification for one level, for one business. You can run for certification for all businesses. While you know that all businesses are not at the same level, it's a way to create a internal competition somehow and to give a ranking to your different organizations. So first, the idea of certification is to go further on, is to lead transformation and maintain improvement. It's an improvement process. So the improvement process is here with certification is we're going to give a ranking. You're not the best of the year, but you are at this level. So you're not compared to the other one, you are the level you are. And the idea here is to say that your level of certification is maintained for 3 years. And now, if after 2 years you are in the bronze level, you want to improve quickly, you can go next year for certification again. So the idea of certification is like an ISO certification, whatsoever certification, is to say clearly to all the people, your internal stakeholder, as your suppliers, as your competitor, that you have a certain level of recognition, of a certain level of certification, you have a certain level of maturity due to the level of you reach. So you may be platinum, you may be gold, you may be silver, you may be bronze, and this is a communication you're going to do around. So basically, you use the tool, you go for your self-assessment, you have a visit, then you have a level of certification, and you have a level, and you may say, okay, I run for certification, we're going to go for completed this audit and to explain you what to do to improve again. So here, it's a way for improving, but it's also a way for you to communicate and to explain the level you are and to explain how good you are. So this is a certification process. So certification is a global, regional, local business. The certification is open for 3 years. You maintain the same level of certification for 3 years, except if you want to run for another one in between for pushing the improvement of the actions. And the certification is going to help you to communicate, and we're going to help you in communicating. So this is certification. So now you may say, well, and the certification, just concerning the scoring, you have a part which is 25% on your assessment results and 75% on the benchmark of your organization, outcome of the audit, and the progress achieved in since the previous certification. So basically, we trust you, but we also trust very much what we're doing with the audit and comparing yourself with the other one. So this certification is based on that. So it's a real scoring, and you have to reach a certain level to get this paper. So certification. Now, if we go for the award is something different. The process is more or less the same, except that at the end we have a jury, and we may have 5 companies for the same level of certification of a year, for award of a year. We may have 30 companies running for the award, and at the end we're going to select the best. So it's a competition. Is the best of that year who is going to win. Next year the level may not be the same, but again the best is going to win. So the difference between certification, who is going to work on your level, the award is going to be a comparative analysis in between all the ones who are running at the same time. So it's a race, if you want. It's a competition. It's an award. So basically, this is a process, and at the end of the year, you're going to have the ceremonies where we're going to deliver the awards, and this award is for the year. Even though that you have the award, you won the award, and forever you get this award in 2020 or 2021 or 2022. The award jury is the honorary president is Peter Kraljic himself, who is participating to other juries. The president of the jury is a winner of the past year, and the board member is with Christian himself, so with Hervé Legendre, who is prof at EIPM, and myself, and one from alumni from EIPM. So I summarize: you have a complete process, the self-assessment, you have the audit, and then you have the certification process, where you're going to have a certain level in the paper certifying that you have a certain level of maturity, but you also can run every year or once in a while the award, the EIPM Peter Kraljic Award, which is much more a level compared to the other one, and is the best who is going to win. So just some information, Christian, if you want to take the lead on this, because I know you are the manager, you are the boss on all this information. So take a lead, take the floor. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard. The tool is just as a reminder, is open all year round, so you can use it just, of course, to compete for the award or do the certification, but you can also use it routinely to guide you or use the reference for your own improvement path. Of course, it's much better to compete, it's more fun, and or to get the certification and see your certification level evolve over time. In order to be able to visit all the companies in the same period of time, the tool will be closed, or the application of the award will be closed by the end of September. And this allows an analysis by the jury and us of the content of the self-assessment and the practices that you have described in the tool. So a couple of days later, we issue the list of companies which have been shortlisted and may deserve a visit by the assessors. The ones indicated visit the companies that are shortlisted between October 15 and November 15 about. By the 3rd week of November, we have the final jury meeting. And this year on December 9, I think there will be the celebration of the winners. The jury and the themes of the awards is presented on the next slide, please. No? Okay. So the agenda is the one that we have described for the certification and the award. Of course.
What do you want? You want the agenda?
No, it's
this
okay.
One?
Yeah. So the honorary president is Dr. Peter Kraljic, who you know from his famous matrix on how to manage suppliers and spend. He is adamant and participating every year since we started the process to this meeting. We have as president the CPO of the organization who won the previous year Organization of the Year award. So this year we know who this person is the CPO of Capgemini, Emmanuel Herba. There are Gianluca Moulet, who is the COO of EFQM, and the CEO is also in charge of the process of the awards for the EFQM annual awards. Bernard, Hervé Legendre, and we also inject some fresh blood and new in the organizations, which are the EIPM MBA Alumni of the Year, the Student of the Year. So this is creating a group of people with different experiences and perspective in the way they see and look and discover the practices. The different awards are in the category of course, the best one is the Organization of the Year, but also in the area of talent management, transformation and value creation, process management and digitalization, external collaboration. This is how usually you deal with your partners, your suppliers, society, and so forth. The sustainable future dimension and risk management dimension are also becoming more important, and we have more innovative and powerful practices discovered in this area, as well as how the companies manage growing agility and inject innovation in their processes, but also how they help their stakeholders bringing in innovation from the supply base. Normally, the awards is for one of the team, like talent management, and then there is a description of what are the specific area in this criteria, under this criteria that where the organization excels. Okay.
Some points. I think we're going to answer some of the questions which have been sent. One point also we want to mention is the tool can be also customized. We have one company who decided to customize the tool for evaluating the maturity, for tracking the maturity of the different organization, of the different, let's say, branches. And they go every year through the tool, and the tool has been customized in a way that we're using their wording, we're using their process, and so on and so forth. So here, this company decide not to create competition, if you want, but to be sure that we have a good tracking of the evolution of the maturity, not only of the organization as a whole, but the different branches and the different unit PU. Okay, so this is another way to create a nice, valuable competition in between the different units, to be much more proactive and to try to work more efficiently for the improvement. So this is a good example, as it has been also used in a sense. I see some of the question which has been brought. One point which is important, just to answer your point, the self-assessment, as you understood, is you're going to have a report, and you're going to have a report based on your results, but also based on the benchmark. So this is what we call a benchmark report, and it's going to give you a lot of information. We're going also to analyze. It's not a people assessment. We were speaking about behavior and so on and so forth. So we have another tool which is for assessing the competencies of people. This tool is much more, as Christian said, holistic, and we're going to go for people as the tools is working. We're going to go through people. We're going to also go through process. We're going to go through the different elements such as leadership, strategy, people. So on all these elements, for sure, behavior are very important. But we're going also to go for the results of a company. We're going to go also for the results vis-à-vis the society. So, and just to conclude on this point and to get more information, if you are interested to understand a bit better, we still can give you a link to test. By sending you a link to test, you also get our information for forwarding some more questions. There was another question concerning the cost. For using the tool as testing, there's no cost. If you run for certification, there is a cost. If you run for the award, there is a cost. The cost for the award is just the cost of the audit. There is no any other cost. The cost for certification is the cost of audit, but also the cost of implementing, maintaining of the information. And there is also a cost if we license you the tool for an internal usage. So basically, we can work on all these different solutions. We can answer you if you have some needs in terms of specific questions, in terms of information concerning at the same time the tool, the utilization, the costing, and so on and so forth. And if you need a link, do not hesitate. We'll be with you. So as you saw, for the award ceremony is by December. It's not yet urgent, but the files are open for the competition now. If you are interested for certification, you can drop in anytime during the year. This is all we were willing to say. Christian, do you want to add some other point?
Yes, so that we have a list of the winners of the year organizations. They come from French, Croatia, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, Norway, Saudi.
We also got some people from the States, from China, for the different, not for the award of the year, but for different awards besides the award of the year. You can get an award for the process, you can get an award for people, for instance. But the award of the years are these ones, and these are the important to understand that is widely spread now.
Yeah. So what I want to add is about the question which one of the questions which has been asked is the tool is not prescriptive. It's not telling you what you should do in these circumstances or in this business, in this industrial sector, and so forth. It's the formulation of the question is more to make you think about what you do and giving you a reference point, which is very advanced and very challenging. So it's your own team working through the questionnaire and assessing your organization to think about what is best for your specific situation and for the targets and the objectives that your organization has, either given by the company objective, mission, vision, or by a very specific strategies telling you what to do, make you think about what and how you can improve or develop your practices to reach the next levels. So it's very, there are two ways to use the tool. One is just to try to get a score and it's going very fast, or you can really use the tool like many companies use the EFQM business excellence model or the EIPM BBEST tool, is to make a sound reflection on what are the area for improvement, what they do, collecting measures and so forth. So sometimes companies are overestimating what they already do and what they are capable of doing. What the tool challenges you is how you can improve the capabilities of your organization through the people, through the processes, through the relationships with the other organization and bodies you are doing work with. There is, again, a strong focus on stakeholders and customers, because the reasons for procurement organization or supply management organization is to help the business satisfy the end customers and be successful in the market.
So I would like to say for conclusion, it's this tool is really for helping you to improve. So improvement action plans, all the improvement action plans are based on an analysis. So this is a tool for analyzing what has to be done, where you should improve. So this is a first element to understand. The second element is really this tool is also going to give you a certain level, which is a certification and a stamp on a paper to be acknowledged at a certain level and recognized. The third point is that the tool is going to help you to participate to awards, and this awards is more competition, giving you something vis-a-vis your not only internally but also vis-a-vis your suppliers. If all of you need and want some more information, you do not hesitate. You can contact me. I forward to Christian. We'll be sending you links. So and we also give you all the information to participate. First, to get the links to test the tool, and then information to participate to the awards, or information to participate to certification. I hope we will be clear on all this information. But even though, do not hesitate to questions back, to ask us more information and come back to us. It will be always a pleasure to answer all of you.